Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
If you heard the news that a well-known celebrity has been outed as a serial killer, who would you immediately think it was? Jared Leto. Before I opened the thread, I asked myself who I thought the first answer would be. I was correct. This is funny because I did the same but said Armie Hammer and that was the first name I saw. Jared's another perfect answer. Tom Cruise, 10,000% as sacrifices. Ezra Miller. Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf. Edit, https://youtube.be/00u4m6vppci. Living in the woods. Killing for sport. I was expecting this one to be higher on the list. His ex said he hunts stray dogs to let off steam. Dude isn't safe to be around. Wait, what? Exclamation mark. He also beat her and sexually assaulted her. The guy is a piece of shit. I would be more surprised to find out Tom Cruise hasn't killed someone for sport. If you told me Tom Cruise hunts children for sport on a child hunting island sponsored by Blue Apron, I'd be like, yep, checks out. But you know who doesn't have a private island? WHER. Tom Cruise hunts children for sport. The products and services that support this podcast. I like to think Dolly Parton kills and disposes of domestic abusers and litterbugs in her free time. Dolly Parton has murdered at least 8 people. My first thought, what did those 8 people do? I mean, they probably deserved it. You never want to victim blame, except if Dolly Parton is the suspect. She has an evil alter ego called Jolene. She begs her to stop killing, please don't take my man, but Jolene kills anyway, just because she can. I'd definitely watch this show. If Dolly ever said someone needed killing, I'd believe her. Yet another thing I wouldn't be surprised Vince McMahon has done. Already covered up at least one murder. I consider him responsible for Owen Hart. If him and his wife hadn't deregulated wrestling and removed safety measures, and then the way he made everyone wrestle in their friend's blood, after not allowing Hart to be declared dead until he was out of the building. Psychopath, but worse. Armie Hammer. Well, he told Piers Morgan that he is absolutely not a cannibal. Ah yes, Penis Morgan. Wouldn't be surprised if he was outed as a serial something or other, he's such a dickhead. Diddy. He wouldn't do it himself, he'd outsource. Mr. Beast. There's just nothing behind those eyes. He can't work out the difference between smiling and baring your teeth. Something's missing inside. Mr. Beast. Burgers are people putting a whole new spin on ghost kitchens. Quote. Kevin Spacey. This was my answer as well. He was a little too good in The Usual Suspects. Does anyone remember that creepy video he made as Frank from House of Cards after he was booted off the show? And American Beauty. Glenn Howerton. Because, you know, the implications. Don't be ridiculous, think of the smell. You haven't thought about the smell, you bitch. Exclamation mark. They're not going to say no. Are you saying these women are in danger? You certainly wouldn't be in any danger. Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller only got into politics because he didn't have the upper body strength to strangle hitchhikers. Grossferatu. Without really much second guessing involved, it would take about 20 seconds to convince me that Andrew Tate would beat animals to death for thrills. So it's not much further stretch to think he'd upgrade to children shortly after that. Garth Brooks. There's a whole theory about him being a serial killer and unsolved murders in places, dates where he did shows. I think it's 2 guys in his road crew that trade off so they've each got an alibi for half the murders. Probably an electrician with forged credentials and an assistant sound tech. Oddly specific. Like, very specific. This would make a good mystery story. Everyone thinks it's the big star it points to them, but it's really a road crew guy. Not Garth Brooks, but I can see Chris Gaines being one. Open mouth smile. I immediately pictured Chris Gaines when it said Garth Brooks. Where are the bodies, Garth? Steven Seagal. To quote Hank Hill, the boy ain't right. Serial killers usually have to be able to move around. Deleted. D4VD. Only reason that dude is known is because he killed that girl. Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel gets blood transfusions from teens to stay young. He's literally what canon loons are paranoid about. It's always projection. Oh, for sure there's like a storage room with living blood bags on his estate, no doubt about it. Dude can't enter churches. Someone grabbed some Morton's kosher salt and draw a line against the threshold to any location he must enter next. Film it. We've gotta know. James Franco. The guy who played Percy in The Green Mile then went on to marry a 16-year-old. Toombs. That guy's an X-File IRL, I feel. Elon Musk. I can see him being the kind of guy who hunts abducted homeless people for sport in an underground bunker or on a private island. God, so many potential serial killers named in the comments. I'm scrolling going yes, yup, oh yeah, him for sure. Joel Osteen. Kenneth Copeland, the infamous mega-church pastor, is also a good candidate. Ashton Kutcher for very obvious reasons. LMAO. What are the obvious reasons? I may be out of the loop. A woman he was dating was murdered by a serial killer. He also fully supported the serial rapist Danny Masterton. RFK Jr. Did you hear Caroline Kennedy's description of how her cousin enjoyed watching Falcons tear apart live chicks? He did push his ex-wife to suicide. Quote, does mass murder by bad medical advice count? I don't know how this isn't one of the top answers. There is zero chance that this man hasn't hunted human for sport. Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz ate my son. He is the Zodiac killer. Kanye West. He wouldn't be able to shut up about it. That's the only reason I don't think he could pull it off. He would also have written 3 albums about how he's the best serial killer in the world. Tom Cruise. The Dead Eyes. Probably Ezra Miller, but I wouldn't put it past Ryan Reynolds. I like how Ryan went from being universally loved online to being seen that annoying guy that shows up everywhere and won't go away. It's the Nickelback effect. It's fun to hate on them, but you all fucking love a bunch of their work and won't actually turn down jamming to it. It's just in vogue to hate on it because it's a meme now. I think it doesn't help that his acting style consists mostly of being Ryan Reynolds in every role. Ryan Reynolds does have those dark, beady eyes that we've seen before. Prince Andrew. All those teddy bears are trophies. Marilyn Manson. 15 years ago I would have said no way. Knowing what we know now, I'd believe it. Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil is one of those guys that you can be absolutely sure is more of a piece of shit the closer you get to him. Like Robin is probably terrified of him. After he signed up to be part of an ICE raid, it just confirmed what I already knew. So did he probably kill some people? I wouldn't doubt it a bit. Chris Brown, Ezra Miller, or Jared Leto for sure. Nobody has said Carrot Top or Russell Brand. I can't believe it. I thought Russell Brand too. I bumped into, literally, Carrot Top in ATL decades ago. He was a rude MF and gave off a creepy malevolent vibe for sure. Andy Dick. And stop trying to censor my answer autocorrect. If I meant Andy Duck, I would have typed Andy Duck. Exclamation mark. Andy Dick. Andy Dick doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut enough to kill unless it was by negligence, like someone ordered and he just went home. Definitely going to be some B-lister I've never heard of whose main role was in a TV show I didn't see that they're clickbaiting up. Even more likely, it's someone who had a few lines in one episode of a show you've never seen, but the headline refers to them as that show's star. Quote, kinda reminds me of Molly Fitzgerald. Back in 2019 she murdered her mother and almost every headline included how she was a Captain America actress. She played Stark Girl and was nothing more than a glorified extra. Without that one credit I guarantee the whole thing wouldn't have made it beyond the local paper. James Woods. Dude looks more unhinged every time I see him. Ooh, piece of candy. Quentin Tarantino. Hands down. Dude just likes feet. That's not a crime. Exclamation mark. It's just a little collection. They were all voluntarily donated. I swear. I just wanna say I answered Harvey Weinstein to this question many years ago for absolutely no reason on an old lost account, and I love that for me. Ellen DeGeneres. She seems like the type that'd get excitement from running people over on back roads. Do politicians count? I'm legit worried about Stephen Miller. Friedrich Engels wrote about a concept called social murder, by which material conditions are made, through some social policy, to lead to unnatural deaths or shortened lifespan. For example, someone who dies of a heart attack because their diet was poor due to inability to eat healthy and they were stressed constantly about the unaffordable rent wasn't legally murdered, but they're still dead as a direct consequence of greed and the decisions we as a society have made. By that concept, a lot of politicians would be killers. He does it out in the open through ICE. My brother firmly believes that Dax Shepard and his wife Kristen Bell had a lesser-known celebrity murdered as some Hollywood sacrifice. I nominate him on behalf of my crazy brother. Please give us more details on your brother's theory. Folded hands. Dax always gave me the chills for some reason. There's definitely something off about that guy. Kristen thought she'd feel bad about killing, but out she didn't. Dax just has no soul. He thinks she's capable of killing someone. She can't even handle the idea of a sloth. Dax maybe, but not Kristen. That creepy dude Armie Hammer. Ann Coulter. She's made herself a woman's suit out of real women. Zachary Quinto. I can't really explain it, but something about him irks me. Is it because he played a serial killer in Heroes? Just watch American Horror Story. Leto definitely, then maybe Paula Deen, she just has those crazy eyes. Gwyneth Paltrow. Killing people with her vagina-scented candles and jade eggs for years. Tom Cruise. Jon Voight, he's always creeped me out. Russell Brand, nah, he's just a rapist. Ezra Miller. He's dead now, but if Tom Sizemore had been outed as a serial killer, I wouldn't have been surprised. He creeped me out and seemed to enjoy playing a psycho way too much. Crispin Glover, nah, I think he's just run-of-the-mill weird. The ones who have major skeletons in the closet usually try to keep a lower profile than somebody who is outwardly bizarre in an artsy way. Usually, but he has made references to Charles Manson in his work, so who knows what the motivation there is. In regard to CG, I'm a big fan until proven otherwise, honestly. I think he's fascinating. This is going to be enormously unpopular, and I'm not saying it to be deliberately provocative, but Glenn Powell. I'm sure he's a totally cool guy, but every time I see him I think Mr. Beast. And talk about a serial killer candidate. I have nothing at all against Glenn Powell, and I mean no offense, but I have always thought that he looks conspicuously AI generated.